If this message has found you, it's no coincidence. There's a reason your path has led you here. Your suffering is not accidental. Every tear, every delay, every season of struggle carries intention. What you have endured has not been wasted or overlooked by God. Pain is one of heaven's most powerful instruments, used to shape your spirit, refine your character, and align you with the destiny prepared for you long before you were born. What feels like breaking is actually divine construction. Pain is not opposing your purpose, it is activating it. In this sacred message, we will walk through 7 sections of profound revelations. Each section uncovering why the pain and hardship is not a sign of abandonment, but evidence of divine preparation. These sections are designed to awaken your understanding, strengthen your faith, and shift how you interpret adversity. So you no longer see pain as punishment, but as proof that greatness is being formed within you. Before we go deeper, take a moment to support this message by liking, sharing, and subscribing. This is more than content. It is a spiritual transmission, a divine reminder sent to those who are aligned. Thanks to everyone who has supported. Your generosity is seen, your faith is honored. Your consistency matters more than you know. Every time you watch, comment, or engage, you are spreading light. You are helping this message reach souls who desperately need it. You are participating in kingdom work, whether you realize it or not. If something within your spirit feels stirred, if this message resonates beyond words, type 77 in the comments now. This number is not a coincidence. It represents spiritual alignment, divine completion, and readiness. By typing it, you are declaring to God and the unseen realms that you are open, prepared, and willing to receive deeper understanding. You are acknowledging that your pain has purpose and your process is sacred. Understand this: not everyone will remain through this message. Only those who are spiritually awake, called, and chosen will endure to the end. Those who stay will receive insight, clarity, and revelation, an expanded awareness of how every trial has been positioning them for their calling. This is not a message to consume casually. It is a living word meant to be revisited. Each time you return, another layer of meaning will unfold, revealing more about your journey, your wounds, and your divine assignment. Each time you return, your spirit will catch something new. Another layer will unfold, another answer will rise, another confirmation will meet you exactly where you are. When doubt creeps in, come back. When the pain feels heavy, come back. When you need reassurance that God hasn't forgotten you, come back. Allow this message to meet you where you are. Let it realign your perspective. Let it remind you that nothing you faced was random, and everything you've survived has been shaping you for what's coming next. Now, with an open heart and a willing spirit, let us begin. Section number 1. Pain as the builder of spiritual strength and unshakable resilience. Chosen 1. Pain is rarely seen for what it truly is. Many view it as a sign of abandonment or misfortune, but in the life of the chosen, pain serves a far greater purpose. It is not designed to destroy you, it is designed to develop you. Pain is the sacred environment where inner strength is awakened and spiritual resilience is constructed. Just as precious metals are refined under extreme heat to remove every impurity, your soul is refined through seasons of difficulty. The fire you have endured was never meant to consume you. It was meant to cleanse you. Through hardship, God strips away fear, insecurity, unbelief, and reliance on comfort, leaving behind a spirit that is unshakable and pure. What emerges is not weakness, but power. Power rooted in faith and obedience. Every hardship you face is intentional. Each season of struggle is shaping your inner foundation. God does not allow pain to destroy you, He allows it to strengthen you. What feels overwhelming is actually expanding your capacity. You are being molded into a vessel capable of carrying greater authority, deeper wisdom, and higher responsibility. The pressure is proof that something powerful is being developed within you. Pain tests endurance in ways comfort never can. Whether the struggle is emotional heartbreak, physical exhaustion, spiritual warfare, or silent battles no one else can see, each challenge pushes you beyond familiar limits. In those moments, you discover reserves of strength you never knew existed. Every trial you survive adds another layer of resilience, another spiritual muscle, Another reason you will not collapse when greater assignments are placed in your hands. True endurance is not born in ease or convenience. It is cultivated in the hidden valleys, when prayers feel unanswered, when strength feels depleted, and when faith is the only thing holding you together. These moments stretch your character and deepen your trust in God. They prepare you for a destiny that requires steadiness under pressure, leadership in uncertainty, and courage in the face of opposition. Without the refining effect of pain, greatness would remain shallow, easily shaken by adversity and unprepared for divine responsibility. Pain is also one of God's most powerful instructors. It exposes areas of vulnerability, immaturity, and dependence that must be healed or strengthened. When you stop resisting the process and instead surrender to what God is doing, transformation begins. Weakness is replaced with wisdom. Fragility gives way to stability. Through pain, you learn patience when outcomes are delayed, perseverance when answers don't come quickly, and the strength to rise again after every fall. These lessons become the backbone of your spiritual maturity. They anchor your faith, sharpen your discernment, and solidify your identity. What once wounded you now empowers you. What once threatened to break you now becomes the very evidence that you were built to endure and to lead. This is how pain prepares you for greatness. Beyond personal growth, pain also deepens your connection to others. When you have walked through hardship, your heart becomes more sensitive to the struggles of those around you. The endurance formed in your own trials gives you the ability to comfort, uplift, and guide others who are facing their own seasons of difficulty. What you survived becomes a testimony, living proof that adversity does not have the final word. The strength developed through suffering turns into a light for others. Your journey shows that pain is not meant to stop you, but to elevate you. It becomes evidence that setbacks can transform into stepping stones when faith is applied. Through your resilience, others find courage to keep going, realizing that if God carried you through, He can carry them as well. It is vital to understand that pain has an expiration date, but the strength it produces endures. Every trial is like spiritual training. Each burden you carry builds endurance, much like resistance strengthens the body. What feels heavy now is increasing your capacity for what lies ahead. God permits these refining seasons not to damage your life, but to shape you for a calling that exceeds ordinary limits. When pain arises, do not run from it or allow it to define you. Instead, discern it as a holy process, an intentional work of God designed to cultivate perseverance, integrity, and unshakable faith within you. Even in discomfort, God is working with precision, forming a spirit capable of withstanding future challenges and carrying greater responsibility. Your suffering is not the conclusion of your journey. It is the refining fire that prepares you to rise stronger, wiser, and more grounded than before. What you are becoming through this process is aligned with the divine purpose placed on your life. Pain is not your defeat. It is the preparation that positions you to walk boldly into the greatness you were created to fulfill. Section number 2. Pain strengthens your faith and anchors your trust in God. Beloved child of God, pain has a way of dismantling the false belief that we can survive life on our own strength. In seasons of difficulty, every illusion of self-reliance begins to fall apart. You come face to face with the truth that human effort, wisdom, and resources are limited. What once felt manageable suddenly feels overwhelming, and in that realization, faith begins to take root. Moments of suffering create space for dependence on God. When you are stripped of control and comfort, you are invited into a deeper reliance on divine strength. It is in brokenness, not confidence, that faith is both formed and refined. Pain redirects your focus away from yourself and draws your heart toward God, urging you to seek Him not out of habit, but out of genuine need. During these seasons, prayer transforms. It is no longer a scheduled practice or a formality. It becomes survival. Your words lose pretense. Your cries become raw and sincere. Worship flows not from abundance, but from desperation and trust. In this vulnerable place, you discover a profound truth. God's grace is not distant or conditional. It is present, active, and more than enough to sustain you through every trial. As faith deepens through hardship, transformation takes place. You begin to see life differently. Instead of viewing circumstances through fear, confusion, or despair, you start to perceive them through God's perspective. Pain teaches you how to release control and trust that God's wisdom surpasses your understanding. You learn that His plan is not only greater than yours, it is guided by love, purpose, and perfect timing. This growing intimacy with God creates an unshakable foundation. Your faith is no longer based on outcomes or comfort, but on the unchanging nature of who God is. Storms may come, but they no longer define you. Pain reveals that faith does not eliminate hardship, it reveals God's presence within it. You come to understand that trusting God doesn't mean the struggle ends immediately. It means you are strengthened enough to endure it without being destroyed by it. Through pain, you learn to stand firm, anchored in the assurance that God is working behind the scenes, even when answers are delayed. Even when clarity is absent, peace remains. Your trust grows deeper because it is rooted not in what you see, but in what you know. God is faithful. As your faith matures through suffering, you are prepared to step confidently into your divine assignment. Challenges no longer intimidate you because you recognize that every hardship has already trained you for what lies ahead. Your life becomes a testimony, evidence that God's grace sustains, His presence empowers, and His faithfulness carries you through every storm, every loss, and every season of uncertainty. As your trust in God grows through hardship, its impact reaches far beyond you. The way you continue to believe in the midst of pain becomes a visible light to those watching your journey. Your unwavering faith during difficult seasons offers reassurance to others who are still searching for strength, reminding them that God remains faithful even when circumstances are uncertain. Through your endurance, people witness a living testimony that God does not forsake those He has called, and that triumph is possible through reliance on Him. Never forget that the suffering you face today holds purpose. Nothing you endure is wasted or overlooked. Pain serves as a holy invitation, drawing you into deeper intimacy with God. Every tear shed, every moment of heaviness, and every silent battle contributes to the strengthening of your faith. These experiences are not obstacles. They are stepping stones leading you into a more profound trust in God's presence and promises. The more you lean on God during seasons of pain, the more secure your spiritual foundation becomes. Dependence on Him develops roots that run deep, anchoring you firmly as you prepare to step into the fullness of what He has ordained for your life. Pain expands your capacity to receive, not only blessings, but responsibility, purpose, and spiritual authority. When hardship arrives, do not resist it or fear it. Instead, recognize it as a divine instructor sent to draw you closer to God's heart. Allow pain to purify your faith, strengthen your trust, and shape your character. Through this process, you are being equipped to walk boldly into the calling God has prepared for you. What you are becoming through pain is aligned with the greater purpose He has set before you, one that will bring glory to Him and fulfillment to your life. Section number 3. Pain forms your character and cultivates true humility. Beloved chosen one, greatness is not measured by status, recognition, or outward success. Real greatness is revealed in who you become along the journey, the condition of your heart, the strength of your character, and the alignment of your spirit with God's will. Pain plays an essential role in this inner formation. It is one of God's most effective tools, shaping you with intention and care into a person marked by integrity, depth, and humility. In seasons of suffering, layers of comfort and self-confidence are stripped away, exposing areas within you that prosperity and ease often conceal. Pain teaches you how to wait, how to trust God's timing without surrendering to frustration or resentment. It dismantles pride and self-sufficiency, reminding you that your strength is limited, but God's power is not. This kind of humility is not a sign of weakness. It is the solid foundation upon which lasting influence and authentic leadership are built. Through hardship, your heart becomes more sensitive. Experiencing pain expands your capacity for compassion, allowing you to genuinely understand the struggles of others. Your wounds become places of wisdom, enabling you to connect with people not from theory, but from lived experience. This empathy is vital for anyone called to lead, serve, or inspire because it fosters trust, authenticity, and meaningful relationships. Pain also removes false confidence and superficial identity. It humbles you by revealing your humanity, your need for guidance, grace, and divine direction. In this humility, dependence on God deepens. You learn to rely not on talent or intellect alone, but on God's wisdom and strength. This protects you from the dangers of arrogance and self-reliance, which have caused many gifted individuals to lose their way. As pain tests you, character is refined. You are shaped into someone who chooses faithfulness when it would be easier to walk away, gentleness when anger feels justified, and grace when bitterness seems tempting. These choices, made in difficult moments, define true greatness far more than any visible achievement. Humility formed through suffering also prepares you to lead with grace. It teaches you how to respond to criticism, rejection, and disappointment without losing your peace or your sense of purpose. When you are aware of your own brokenness and the mercy God has extended to you, you become more patient, forgiving, and understanding toward others. This creates a space where people feel safe, valued, and encouraged to grow, an environment where genuine transformation can take place. What pain is shaping within you is not temporary. It is building a character strong enough to carry the weight of your calling and humble enough to honor God through it. Pain also equips you for leadership by teaching you the power of honesty and openness. Through hardship, you learn that vulnerability does not weaken your influence, it strengthens it. When you acknowledge your struggles, you become more relatable, more trustworthy, and more impactful. People are naturally drawn to leaders who are genuine, those who have endured adversity, grown through it, and now speak with insight, compassion, and hope, born from experience. True leadership is not built on perfection, but on authenticity. Pain gives you a story that carries weight. It allows you to speak into the lives of others with credibility, offering encouragement that is rooted in reality rather than theory. When people see that you have faced difficulties and emerged with faith intact, they are inspired to believe that they too can overcome what stands before them. Ultimately, the character and humility shaped through suffering become your greatest strengths. These qualities position you to step fully into your divine assignment, not merely as someone with authority, but as a servant-hearted leader. You lead not by dominance, but by example, not by control, but by care. Your leadership becomes an expression of God's love, wisdom, and grace in action. When pain enters your life, do not reject the lessons it carries. Recognize it as God's refining fire, carefully shaping your heart and aligning your spirit with His will. This process is necessary because the level of influence and responsibility God has prepared for you requires more than talent or ambition alone. It requires a transformed inner life, one marked by humility, compassion, resilience, and steadfast faith. What God is forming within you through pain is preparing you to lead in a way that honors Him and uplifts others. This is the kind of greatness that endures, rooted not in ego but in obedience, love, and unwavering trust in God. Section number 4. Pain illuminates your purpose and ignites your divine passion. Chosen one. Pain is far more than a mere experience of suffering. It is a divine spotlight, intentionally placed by God to reveal the true purpose for which you were created. In seasons of difficulty, the distractions, illusions, and shallow pursuits that once occupied your mind begin to fall away. Pain pierces through the superficial and exposes the desires, dreams, and callings that reside deep within your spirit. It cuts through worldly noise and uncertainty, revealing the clarity of God's unique assignment for your life. When you walk through trials, a new vision emerges. Pain sharpens your perspective and allows you to see your life with renewed clarity. It exposes areas where you have settled for mediocrity, chased empty pursuits, or neglected the destiny God placed in your heart. In these moments, your true passions come to the forefront, gifts and dreams that were planted in you even before your birth. Pain is not random, it is purposeful. It serves as a wake-up call from God, a divine reminder that every struggle has meaning, and every challenge is designed to redirect you toward your God-given destiny. Moreover, pain ignites a fire within your spirit, a relentless, God-inspired passion that refuses to be extinguished. It awakens determination, courage, and perseverance, equipping you to press forward despite opposition, setbacks, or moments of doubt. The very struggles that feel heavy today become the fuel for persistence, innovation, and spiritual breakthroughs. Your pain drives you to rise above fear and discouragement, compelling you to move beyond comfort zones and embrace the calling for which you were uniquely designed. This fire born of suffering also sharpens your focus. It reminds you why you began your journey, why your vision matters, and why the path you walk is worth enduring. Every challenge becomes a stepping stone rather than a barrier, strengthening your resolve and reinforcing your commitment to the mission God has entrusted to you. Pain transforms into a sacred motivator, turning adversity into opportunity, trials into triumph, and heartbreak into a burning passion for purpose. Through this process, you begin to understand that your journey is far greater than the hardships you face. Pain becomes the divine instrument that illuminates your path, ignites your passion, and empowers you to step boldly into the destiny God has designed for your life. It is the fire that refines, fuels, and propels you toward your divine calling. Pain serves as a divine guide, aligning you with God's purpose by teaching profound lessons in sacrifice, perseverance, and unwavering faith. It reveals that the road to greatness is rarely easy and that every season of suffering carries intention. Your struggles are not meaningless. They are essential elements in your preparation for the calling God has placed upon your life. Each trial you endure strengthens your spirit, equips you with wisdom, and provides the experience necessary to lead, inspire, and impact others in meaningful ways. The passion that arises from enduring pain does more than empower you. It radiates outward, inspiring those around you. When others witness your steadfastness in the midst of difficulty, your commitment becomes a testimony, a living example that God's plan is trustworthy. Your journey transforms into a beacon of hope, encouraging others to step courageously into their own purpose, fueled by faith rather than fear. It is crucial to remember that the pain you face is not merely a burden. It is a divine instrument for transformation. God uses it to strip away distractions, reveal your true calling, and ignite the passion that will sustain you through every challenge ahead. When you embrace pain as both a teacher and a motivator, you tap into a spiritual power within yourself, a divine energy designed to propel you toward your destiny. Therefore, when hardship knocks on your door, receive it with open arms. Allow it to illuminate your purpose and ignite your passion. Let every trial serve as a reminder that your suffering is shaping you, strengthening you, and preparing you to fulfill the extraordinary plan God has for your life. Pain is not an obstacle. It is the spotlight revealing your destiny and the fire that empowers you to pursue it with relentless determination. In this way, every hardship becomes a sacred step toward the greatness you were created to achieve. Section number 5. Pain cultivates empathy and compassion. Chosen one. One of the most sacred gifts that emerges from walking through pain is the growth of empathy and compassion in your spirit. When you have personally endured seasons of loss, disappointment, or heartache, you develop a profound capacity to understand and resonate with the struggles of others. This intimate familiarity with suffering creates a wellspring of compassion, equipping you to uplift, encourage, and minister to those navigating their own challenges. Pain softens the heart and opens spiritual eyes to the fragility of the human condition. You begin to perceive the hidden burdens others carry, the silent tears, the unspoken fears, and the invisible scars that lie beneath smiles or calm exteriors. This heightened sensitivity allows you to respond with grace, mercy, and love, rather than judgment or indifference. Your lived experiences transform mere sympathy into authentic empathy, a divine ability to feel alongside another, to journey with them through their trials, and to offer support rooted in understanding rather than assumption. Through suffering, God equips you to become a vessel of His healing presence. The very wounds that once caused pain are now transformed into conduits of hope and restoration. Sharing your story of perseverance and triumph illuminates the path for those still navigating darkness, demonstrating that pain is never the final word. Your testimony becomes a living proof of God's faithfulness, illustrating that healing, restoration, and victory are not only possible, they are guaranteed for those who trust in Him. Compassion cultivated through suffering is a hallmark of true greatness. Genuine greatness is measured not by accolades, wealth, or status, but by the ability to lift others, to serve selflessly, and to bring comfort in times of need. Leaders forged through trials are often the most effective because they lead from a place of shared experience and authentic care rather than superiority. Empathy born from pain also breaks down walls and fosters unity. It nurtures patience, forgiveness, and unconditional love, strengthening relationships in families, communities, and even broader spheres of influence. Those who have experienced suffering understand the value of mercy and the power of reconciliation. Through this spiritual sensitivity, you become a catalyst for healing, a bridge builder, and a living demonstration of God's love and restorative power wherever you go. Pain, therefore, is not simply a trial to endure. It is a divine instrument for forming a heart capable of leading, comforting, and transforming lives through compassion. It prepares you to walk in a purpose greater than yourself, reflecting the love, grace, and mercy of God in every encounter. Moreover, the empathy and compassion cultivated through your own suffering empower you to intercede for others with a heart of profound understanding. Having walked through valleys of pain and wrestled with God in times of despair, you now pray with sincerity, depth, and spiritual authority. Your intercessions carry weight because they are birthed from experience. They become a lifeline for those who are unable to articulate their own cries or find their own way to God. Pain was never intended to isolate you. On the contrary, it is designed to expand your capacity to connect with others, shaping a heart that beats in rhythm with God's love for all who are hurting. Every wound you have endured, every tear you have shed, and every trial you have faced is a tool God uses to cultivate within you a spirit of empathy and genuine compassion. These qualities prepare you not only for your own divine purpose, but also to serve as a source of comfort, encouragement, and guidance for others. When you embrace the lessons embedded in your past hurts, you are transformed into a compassionate leader, a faithful friend, and a beacon of hope to those navigating their own struggles. Your pain, rather than weakening you, becomes the fertile soil from which empathy and compassion grow, producing fruit that uplifts and restores those around you. Allow your wounds to be sanctified into instruments of God's healing power. Let every scar, every difficulty, and every moment of suffering become a channel through which His love flows, bringing restoration, encouragement, and spiritual refreshment to others. In doing so, your journey of pain is transformed into a living testimony of God's redeeming grace, a radiant light that demonstrates His faithfulness and inspires hope in every heart that encounters it. Your suffering, when surrendered to God, becomes far greater than a personal trial. It becomes a sacred tool for building bridges, imparting comfort, and extending divine mercy to a world in need. Pain, therefore, is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of a legacy of empathy, compassion, and supernatural influence guided by God Himself. Section number 6, Pain Tests. Your obedience and strengthens your commitment. Beloved chosen one, pain is not merely a measure of endurance, it is a divine test of your obedience and steadfastness in following God's plan. When life becomes difficult, the natural tendency is to seek the easier path, to give up, compromise your values, or turn away from God. But the chosen ones walk differently. You are called to persevere, to stand firm, and to keep your focus on the divine purpose set before you, even when the trials feel unbearable. Pain challenges your obedience because it often requires faith without visible results. Following God is simple when blessings are abundant and life is smooth. True obedience, however, is revealed in the furnace of affliction. When you continue to trust God in the face of unanswered prayers, delays, and disappointments, your faithfulness distinguishes you as one who is truly committed to His will. Obedience in hardship is not just compliance, it is a declaration that your trust is anchored in God, not in circumstances. Your commitment is tested alongside your obedience. The path to greatness is a marathon, not a sprint, requiring persistence, resilience, and unwavering faith. Pain forces you to confront crucial questions. Am I willing to endure this season for the sake of God's purpose? Am I prepared to walk through trials to fulfill the calling on my life? Every moment that you choose to persevere is an answer, a proclamation that your heart is aligned with God's plan. Each act of obedience, each step of faith in the midst of struggle, strengthens your inner being, and cultivates spiritual maturity. With every choice to trust God over fear, commitment over quitting, and faith over doubt, your intimacy with Him deepens. You learn to hear His voice more clearly, follow His guidance more faithfully, and prepare your spirit to receive the fullness of His promises, blessings, favor, and responsibilities that require a steadfast heart. Pain also exposes the depth of your character. It strips away superficial motives and reveals what is truly inside your heart. When you respond with obedience and commitment, it proves that your faith is rooted not in fleeting circumstances, but in the unchanging nature of God Himself. This kind of faith is powerful, effective, and life-transforming. It opens doors that were previously closed and draws divine favor into your life. Furthermore, your steadfastness in pain becomes a testimony for others. Those who witness your faithfulness are inspired and encouraged to remain faithful through their own trials. Your commitment shines as a guiding light, showing that it is possible to endure the darkest seasons and emerge stronger, wiser, and more equipped to walk in God's purpose. In this way, your obedience and commitment are not just for you. They are a beacon, drawing others toward their own divine victories and demonstrating the reality of God's faithfulness in every circumstance. Always remember that pain is temporary, but the obedience and commitment you demonstrate during difficult seasons build a foundation for eternal greatness. God honors those who remain faithful under trial by entrusting them with increased authority, expanded responsibility, and abundant blessings. The hardships you face now serve as a divine proving ground, confirming that you are being prepared to bear the weight of your calling and fulfill the unique destiny God has ordained for your life. When trials arise, do not give in to discouragement or turn aside from God's path. Instead, allow these challenges to test your obedience, sharpen your commitment, and strengthen your reliance on Him. Let pain become a refining fire that purifies your faith, strengthens your inner man, and equips you to walk confidently into the fullness of your divine assignment. Your perseverance through suffering is never wasted. Every moment of steadfast faith, every choice to remain loyal to God, is a step toward the abundant life and sacred purpose He has promised. Pain is not an obstacle. It is the instrument God uses to prepare you for greatness, to shape your character, and to position you for the blessings and authority that await. By enduring faithfully, you are proving that you are ready to receive all that God has set aside for you and to walk fully in the destiny He has designed from eternity past. This is last section number 7. Pain is temporary, greatness is eternal. Beloved child of God, let this truth sink deep into your spirit. What you are experiencing right now is not forever. Pain may feel overwhelming, but it does not have the final authority over your life. Pain is a passing season, while greatness is your eternal destiny. The struggles, disappointments, and heartaches you endure are temporary. The divine purpose God has planted within you is anchored in eternity and cannot be shaken. Consider the cycles of nature. Winter brings cold, barrenness, and hardship, yet it cannot stop the coming of spring. In the same way, your current season of suffering cannot prevent the arrival of your breakthrough. The enemy may attempt to convince you that this valley is permanent, but God declares otherwise. He has already appointed the day when your mourning will turn into rejoicing, when your tears will be transformed into joy, and when your trials will yield testimony. This is not the end of your story. It is part of your preparation and becoming. Pain is not merely something that happens to you. It is a refining force that passes through you, leaving behind endurance, wisdom, and strength. Each trial chisels away fear, pride, and doubt, revealing the refined version of yourself, one who is prepared to carry the weight of God's calling. Without these refining fires, stepping into your purpose would be overwhelming, but through them, you emerge resilient, steadfast, and unshakable. God does not waste your pain. Every tear that falls, every midnight cry, and every moment of anguish is recorded in heaven. Each struggle is being woven into a tapestry designed to display His glory through your life. The battles you face now will become the testimony that inspires, heals, and delivers others. Your journey through suffering will serve as a beacon of hope, leading many out of their own darkness. Remember this: the pain you endure is proof of transformation happening within you. Just as muscles grow stronger under pressure, your spirit is strengthened by trials. What feels like breaking is actually building. What feels like loss is preparing the ground for gain. You are not being buried, you are being planted. And in God's perfect timing, you will bloom with strength, purpose, and beauty beyond your imagination. In the days ahead, clarity will come. You will understand that the lonely nights were teaching you to depend fully on God's presence. You will see that the rejection you faced was divine redirection towards something greater. You will recognize that the delays were heavenly protection, ensuring that you enter your blessings at the right time and fully prepared. Pain is temporary. Your preparation is eternal. Greatness awaits, and the God who began this work in you will bring it to completion. Beloved, do not despise this season of trials. God is using it to mold you into a vessel capable of carrying a generational impact far beyond your own life. The fruit of your perseverance will extend to your children, your grandchildren, and countless souls whose lives you may never directly touch. Your endurance today is planting seeds of blessing that will ripple through generations. There will be men and women who discover hope because you refused to surrender. Destinies will be unlocked because you walked through what others could not endure. Keep pressing forward, even if you must limp, even if every step feels heavy. Each movement, no matter how small, declares that your faith is stronger than your feelings. Every breath you take amid hardship is a testimony that the enemy does not have the final word in your life. The storms you face are temporary, but the crown God is preparing for you is eternal. Your suffering has an expiration date, but your purpose, calling, and greatness endure forever. One day, you will arrive at a place so full of purpose, joy, and fulfillment that you will understand why every struggle was necessary. You will look back on the tears, the battles, and the scars and realize they were all part of the preparation for the glory God had in store. And in that moment, you will know that it was worth every trial, every moment of pain, and every step of faith. In summary, beloved child of God, the sections above have provided you with a clear understanding of these truths. Your current struggles are preparation for lasting greatness. Every trial, tear, and scar is shaping you to fulfill God's purpose, bless future generations, and emerge stronger, faithful, and victorious. If you're eager for more, whether additional chapters to this spiritual journey or a powerful visual concept for a video or thumbnail, simply just say the word. I'm here and I'm ready to help bring it all to life.